Cwibs, alright, so we've all played video games, right? I'd assume so, since you clicked on this video. And as gamers, we've all had our fair share of those frustrating, rage-inducing, and possibly teeth-grinding moments that will make us have the urge to do more than just suplex our setups. Whether that be from a boss you're stuck on, an unsolvable puzzle, a specifically timed platforming segment, or from something that shouldn't have happened. Now, these are pretty common to come across, and I've had my fair share of these types of moments in the past. And unfortunately, I recently came across what could possibly be the worst gaming moment I've ever had. Trust me. I've platinumed both Elden Ring and Bloodborne, and I've literally been through hell and back, plus returned to the inner depths of the underworld just to beat these games even once, and it doesn't even come embarrassingly close to this one specific moment. Okay. So do you guys know Hollow Knight? Okay, wait, I get the confusion. I'm going confused. Just hear me out for 1 second. Just a really small second, please. Just 1 second, please! For those who don't know, Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania game published by an Australian indie company known as Team Cherry. And I recently played through and finished it so I can prepare myself for Hollow Knight Silksong, which is the anticipated sequel that's been eyed at ever since it was announced 6 years ago. First time, huh? This was my first ever Metroidvania game I finished, and throughout my experience with this game, I was surprisingly enjoying my time with it. Sure, it did take a while for me to get used to exploring and backtracking the entire map to progress and get stronger, but I was just so mesmerized by the atmosphere that it didn't even cross my mind once. Hollow Nest itself is one of the most beautiful and mysterious worlds that I've ever explored in a video game. Just getting to sit down on a bench and just take in the atmosphere is just so peaceful, man. Like, oh my god. Even the buggy inhabitants of this place, whether that be the enemies or the townsfolk, have so much personality and charm to them that they don't even need to say a single comprehensible word to me to make this game's world feel more alive. Not to mention that every single asset in this game is so beautifully hand-drawn and uniquely designed that it keeps me enticed to continue exploring and learning more about this game's world, as well as its enticing yet intriguing lore that is spread out all throughout Hollow Nest. Oh, and don't get me started on the bosses, okay? Every single boss in this game is designed so well that even the reskins feel like different characters entirely. They are just so fun to fight, and don't let the beautiful designs distract you either, because these bosses are really hard and they will keep you on your toes at all times. So you better be patient and learn these attack patterns, because these bosses do not mess around. And it only takes a couple of hits before you get sent back to a bench and have to mindlessly make your way back just so you can get your ass kicked again by the same move. That's what you get for rushing in, dumbass! But man, once you dodge those attacks and learn those attack patterns and hit the final blow, oh, it feels so satisfying, man. That dopamine rush always hits at the perfect time, bro. It feels like you can accomplish anything. It makes you feel like you could climb a mountain, win the lottery, run a marathon, get a GoFro. Okay, now too far. Forgot they were all gamers. Now, as you progress and take down these bosses, you will later come across this place known as the Resting Grounds, which is inhabited by the many spirits of Hollow Nest's past, and this moth lady who is apparently the lost of a tribe that were the original caretakers of the area. Who... Yeah, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go into lore territory, it's, pretty convoluted. Anyways, once you inspect the statue and platform your way over to the glowing bug, you'll be granted access to the Dream Nail, which is an item that allows the player to teleport to a marked area and occasionally send you to the inside of people's souls, where you're able to verse some of these bosses again. This time, they're much faster, much more powerful, and they'll always keep you guessing on how their attack patterns would change, making it a more strategic fight. Now, while that's cool and all, there is one boss in this game that I came across with the Dream Nail that actually made my entire skin crawl with agony. I had to stop playing this game for a while because of this guy. Yeah, I came back to this game 4 years later because of this boss. This is a boss that was too fast and too cocky for his own good that a beginner like me will feel drained after multiple excruciating attempts. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the Soul Tyrant. Which is not to be confused with Queso's twin brother, the Soul Master. Actually, I shouldn't even be calling him Queso, because Queso is 10 times nicer than his bitch! As I was saying, the Soul Tyrant isn't actually one of the main bosses, as he can only be fought if the player has access to the Dream Nail, meaning that the Soul Master, who is found in the City of Tears, is the original version of this fight. Now, when you first encounter the Soul Master, he mainly focuses on summoning fireballs and teleporting all over the arena to try and zone out the player. He also roams around occasionally with rotating fireballs that go the opposite direction when he disappears, and if magic doesn't work, he'd either charge towards you or strike you from above, releasing a small shockwave. He also has a second phase where he moderately spams his slam move and proceeds to summon homing fireballs in random places while catching his breath, leaving him wide open to attack. Simple, yet reasonably difficult. A fairly paced fight that gives the player plenty of time to heal and study his attacks. Pretty tolerable, right? Now the Soul Tyrant, on the other hand, is just like that, but 10 times worse and 10 times faster! Now remember when I said he can teleport all over the place to zone the player out? Yeah, he does this often! This thing cannot stop teleporting to save his life. Not only does he attack at a stronger and faster rate than before, but every time I run up to take a hit, he just pull a Goku on me and teleport to the other side of the stage. I mean, I'd be lucky enough to get one hit and be just stop fucking moving! Because of how much he teleports, it makes it harder for me to predict when he slams the ground too, since that also got vamped up to the point where he can just do it without a single warning. Plus, even if you dodge it, a massive shockwave that's twice as bigger than before will decide to spawn in and cover most of the map with it. So you're still bound to get hit by this move once per fight, even if you were expecting it. Oh, and don't get me started on his fireballs, man. Every time he teleports, he summons one big fireball that can slightly home on you and is slightly faster than before. And did I forget to mention that he teleports every so often? At least when he decides to charge at you, he has the same pace as a mobility scooter, so you know, that's something. Also, his fireball wheel rhombus looking thing would also be doubled in fireballs and is slightly faster than before, but it's pretty easy to dodge if you just jump and hide in a corner or just walk under it. So to be fair, there is some balance to this fight that allows me to be cowardly, and in scenarios like these, I love being a nimble coward. Now, after all of that, you're probably thinking that this tyrant sounds difficult yet tolerable to face, and I'm probably over-exaggerating how hard the fight actually is. And you might be right, if I didn't spend 15 fucking minutes each time, and I'm not exaggerating on that either! Every single hit I gave him was equivalent to flicking someone's forehead with a fucking cotton ball. This man was just supermaning my attacks. It just felt like the whole fight was getting dragged out to the point where there was no end to him. And if I didn't mention it enough, just spamming his teleportation move to oblivion made it impossible for me to even get any hits in. Even when I felt like I was close to beating him, he would then decide to mix up his attack patterns and occasionally spawn near me at times. One very good example of this is when he would decide to fake out his attacks, specifically his slam move, which gave me no room to comprehend what just happened before he decides to hit me with the same move again. You have no idea how annoying that is! He would do all of this just to keep me off guard and lose my focus more. And when I lose focus, I get hit. And if I get hit, my health depletes. And when that happens, I would have to restart the entire fucking fight again. I have repeated this fight so many times, and every single time I tried fighting this roped blob, I would feel significantly drained to the point where I have no motivation to continue playing the game at all. I'd rather watch paint dry than sit through another 15 minutes of this fight just for me to die again by some stupid fucking fireball and waste all of that time and all of that progress! Oh, and did I forget to mention the second phase? No? So after 15 minutes of torture, I reached the second phase, which, if you don't know, starts off with him continuously slamming the ground at an alarmingly fast rate. For as long as he does his move, you'll need to perfectly time your dodges without any room for error nor break, otherwise your health bar will deplete very fast. Unfortunately, before he gets a migraine, he'll then decide to take a break or he'll proceed to summon multiple mini homing fireballs at once, summoning them at an alarming rate. More faster than before even. To top it all off too, some of these fireballs can even spawn in front or on top of you. Because of course they can! I hate this phase so much because it does not give you time to heal at all. You may be lucky enough to get at least one quick heal in, but it is not worth it, since you'll most likely get attacked shortly after due to how fast and frequent his attacks are. They're so frequent in fact that I have a better chance at dodging a speeding bullet than this shit. So yeah, if you lose all your health in this segment, guess what? you'd have to restart and run through the entire 15 minutes of this first phase all over again, then be lucky enough to jump into the next phase just to get hit by a measly fireball! So yeah, after spending multiple attempts and a lot of time fighting this thing, I eventually whooped its ass and was finally done with it. Although, you know what was even worse about this? I didn't even feel satisfied in beating this boss at all. Why, you may ask? I want you to keep a few things in mind. This is my first Metroidvania game, so I didn't understand the main concept of how to play one yet. I should also mention I just got back to playing it after rage quitting 4 years ago, thinking that I needed to beat this boss to progress through the story. So if you haven't connected the dots yet, I could have finished this game and skipped this fight entirely. Yep. I didn't know that this boss fight was even optional. I didn't know I could even come back at a later time. I just assumed I had to fight him with what I had instead of searching around for more spells and skills to make myself strong enough to stand a chance. I didn't even have upgraded spells yet! And I'm over here fighting this massive moving ink splotch, thinking that it was an obstacle I had to overcome with sheer willpower alone. And to top it all the fuck off, do you know what you get when you finally beat him? Absolutely fucking nothing! No key items to progress, no new skills, just 300 essence. That's it! I could have avoided this entirely. I could have explored and did so much of the main story, come back and then find him at a stronger stance. The problem was, I was so stupid that I wasted my entire time trying to beat him with absolutely nothing when he could have been done faster if I was smart enough to start exploring and less stubborn to go through this entire fucking fight with each attempt feeling like my soul is getting more crushed than someone getting flattened by a cement roller. Okay, so to those that still haven't got it through their heads, this fight and this entire feeling was all avoidable and a waste of my fucking time that I could have finished the game ages ago, matter of fact years ago, without even attempting this boss at all! At least I got a fucking video out of it! Ain't that something? Because that's the life of a fucking YouTuber! To be fair, after all that raging and all that hopping on about this boss, I can kind of see a positive of this, since even with the large strength gap between us, I didn't give up and I was determined to beat him no matter the circumstances. And eventually I did beat him, so that has to make up for something. This pulled out tooth will always be a nightmare to me, but I can somewhat appreciate it being seen as one since I overcame it at the earliest point in the game. And because I bet it with my own skill, patience, and willpower, I was able to come across and beat many of the other bosses more easily. So I at least had to give credit where credit is due, because if I didn't spend a long time with this boss, I could have come across a different boss that I couldn't beat and most likely rage quit the game all over again. Like, imagine if I rage quitted on Dung Defender. I would not accept myself at all if I lost to someone that throws balls of shit at you. So I'm at least glad that this one boss gave me such a struggle, since it made me a better player entirely and helped me understand what it means to play a Metroidvania game for the first time. So yeah, I'm truly grateful that I fought this boss at the current stance, since at the end of the day, it made me a stronger player both physically and mentally. But also, fuck you, cunt! Anyways, if you've had a terrible gamer moment, be sure to leave a comment down below, as I'm curious if you've had a similar experience like I did. Probably not, but hey, it's worth wondering. Also, I keep forgetting that I'm a YouTuber, so be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and after all that hopping on, you're probably asking yourselves, Cwibs, are you still gonna play Silksong? No shit! I'm currently playing it right now, and let me just say, I'm having a blast. Who dares to stand a chance against Cwibs the Courageous, huh? Oh, you?
Fight!
I bet the Soul Torrent, bro. What you gonna do, huh? Oh, you have no idea what you're standing up against.